That's the first and foremost effect. If you think my heart is dry, my life is dry, the cross is a place where you will begin, if you keep looking at it, to begin to marvel at something great that is beyond you and your boredom. If you are a proud person and don't like to listen, the cross is a place where you will be humbled at the greatness of what God has done for sinners and yourself. If you are in turmoil in life, the cross is a place where you will find the true peace that comes from forgiveness. If you say, I don't have any hope, the cross is the greatest place for anybody to find eternal hope. So I want us to see this morning, this is not theoretical, this is not academic, this is not just theological. Oh, now I know so much more about the cross. There is a deeply devotional reason why a believer must, not just the first month of your salvation, say, I know what the cross is about, but 10, 20, 30 years later, you will still find that the cross is the center of your life. And so that's why we want to look at this. And this is wonderful. For the rest of our lives, we have Communion Sundays. As many months as are left, we can look. And for you, you have the rest of your life. Anytime you are in need, open up the Bible and consider the cross. It's like a jewel with infinite facets. Just turn it around in the light, and you're going to find something that will bless you. And if you are an unbeliever sitting here this morning, maybe you're here because you like the morality of the Bible or the intellectuality of it. Nothing matters as much as you being in a right relationship with God. And at the cross is found the forgiveness of sin. So I pray that you will be saved as you hear this, and you will give your life to Jesus. 5 significant things related to the tearing of the veil that come out of this passage and this account. Here's the first thing. What we see in the tearing of the veil is one-way love. One-way love. The love that you and I give, in that love, we will be very hard-pressed to say that my love is unconditional. Because there is always, it seems, some kind of condition or expectation that creeps in. But you are not doing this, therefore right? If you would only, then right? God's work in the gospel demonstrates true love, and that love is one way. It has nothing to do with us. Now in this passage, Luke chapter 23, verse 45, it just says that the sun was darkened and the veil of the temple was torn in two. But in Matthew's account, Matthew deliberately mentions this, that the tearing in two from top to bottom. And one of the things that Matthew is doing, because around this time, if you read the gospel accounts, there were apocalyptic events, and we'll talk a little bit about that. Earthquakes. The earth was shaking. And so this precludes that this happened because of some kind of earthquake. It happened from top to bottom. There is a clarity that the gospel accounts want to give us that this is an extraordinary event. The writers of the gospel text are pushing us to realize, helping us see that the issue here is a divine intervention. God is the initiator of something. And we have to understand what that is, but we'll get to it. But simply this, that the great curtain, and we'll talk about the curtain as well, it is not insignificant that the curtain was torn. God tore it through divine initiative. One of the greatest, most well-known passages in the Bible is John 3:16. You memorize it as soon as you come to faith almost, isn't it? God loved the world in this manner. What? That He gave His Son to a world that is in rebellion against Him. John 3:16, God loved the world. This is the demonstration of God's love. He gave His Son. I think John 3:16 finds its great definition here. On the hill of Calvary, what is God so loved the world in this manner that He gave His literally one and only Son. That's what it means. Some versions say begotten Son. It's better to say one and only. He gave what heaven had to give. The one and only Son was bleeding there on that hill, and he had given his life. What is the greatest expression of love for somebody else? Other than you lay down your life for them, right? Something to say, I'll give you something. I'll give you myself, my very life. That is all that we can give. Son and the Son for the world as he obeyed different areas. And this was the central area, that square room where the Ark of the Covenant was. That was where the presence of God physically dwelt in the Old Testament, where God was. And if God is tearing the curtain, can you see? From one side you have the Son of God demonstrating love. From the other you see the Father ripping open his presence to sinners and saying, come. Come. We could not have done that. How can you go up to some mountain and say, I'm going to tear open something into the presence? We don't have that ability. And there gloriously is seen the hidden presence of God being given to us. You see? The Son is given for us. God gives himself to us. Ephesians chapter 2 verse 8 summarizes the idea. For by grace you have been saved through faith, and that is not of yourselves. It is what? The gift of God. We can say the gift of God's initiative alone. Even your faith is not because you believed. It is the gift of God. And that is the declaration of the gospel. There are only two ways of religion in the world, really. No matter all the names that we put to it, whether Christian, there are two ways, even within the Christian world. One is the religion of human merit, that is from our way trying to reach God, and the other is the religion of God's initiative. And here is the declaration, not by human merit, but by divine mercy. As God offered his Son's blood on that cross, his work was initiated. What did human beings do that afternoon? Even there. What were they doing to help? Nothing. They're either standing there as spectators or as people who are doing the killing. Even that reminds us that redemption is God's sovereign act. Soter, Savior, delivering King.